My name is Ethan Walker, and this happened in northern Alaska. Before all this, I lived in Colorado and worked night shifts fixing generators at a warehouse outside Denver. Life was boring but normal. Then I lost my job during winter. For almost 2 months, I searched everywhere for work. One night, around 1 a.m., I found a strange online job posting. Remote Arctic weather station technician needed. The pay was huge. 6 months in Alaska. No experience needed. Honestly, it sounded too good to be real, but I was broke. So I applied. 3 days later, I got accepted. That should have been my first warning. 2 weeks later, I landed in Anchorage, Alaska. The cold hit me the second I stepped outside the airport. Not normal cold. The kind that burns your lungs when you breathe. A tall man wearing a black parka was waiting near the parking lot. "Ethan?" he asked. I nodded. "That truck is yours. You leave at sunrise." No handshake, no smile, nothing. He handed me a map, a radio, and a small metal key with the number 4 scratched into it. Station 4. That night I stayed in a cheap roadside motel near the highway. Snow kept hitting the windows the entire time. Before sleeping, I looked at the map again. The station was so far north, it almost looked disconnected from the rest of America. And for some reason, that bothered me more than it should have. I left before sunrise. The truck was old, loud, and packed with supplies stacked to the roof. Food boxes, fuel cans, tools. Enough to survive for months. At first, the road felt normal, but after a few hours, everything changed. No towns, no gas stations, no people. Just endless snow and dark pine forests stretching for miles. The farther north I drove, the quieter the world became. Even the radio stopped working around noon. By evening, I finally saw something in the distance. A small weather station sitting completely alone in the middle of the frozen wilderness. Station 4. For the first time since taking the job, I felt nervous. Station 4 looked more like an abandoned military outpost than a weather station. Tall metal fences surrounded the area, half buried in snow. A large radio tower stood behind the building, making a low humming sound in the freezing wind. The moment I parked the truck, the front door opened. A heavy-set man with a gray beard stepped outside. "You're late," he said. That was my introduction to Marcus Reed, the station supervisor. Inside, the place was warmer than I expected. Old heaters rattled in the corners while pipes groaned behind the walls. There were only 4 people working there. Marcus, a quiet mechanic named Lewis, a medic called Hannah, and now, me. That night, during dinner, nobody talked much. Only the sound of wind hitting the station walls. And somehow, that silence felt heavier than the storm outside. By the second week, I started getting used to life at Station 4. Every day followed the same routine. Wake up, check the generators, record weather data, clear snow from the outer equipment, repeat. Simple. The station operated 24 hours a day, so somebody was always awake. Most nights, that somebody was me. Marcus barely spoke unless it was work-related. Lewis spent most of his time repairing machines in the basement. Hannah usually stayed in the medical room reading old paperbacks. It wasn't a friendly place, but it was peaceful. Outside, the world was nothing except snow, wind, and darkness stretching forever. Sometimes I'd stand near the fence during night shifts and stare into the frozen wilderness. It felt like standing at the edge of the world. About a month after I arrived, Marcus finally explained what a real Arctic storm looked like. "It's called a whiteout," he said during breakfast. "When it hits, you can't see 5 feet in front of you." That same evening, the storm arrived. The wind slammed against the station so hard the walls actually shook. Snow covered the windows completely within minutes. For nearly 12 hours, nobody went outside, not even Marcus. The strange part wasn't the storm itself. It was the way everyone acted during it. Lewis kept checking the door locks over and over again. Hannah barely spoke the entire night. Even Marcus looked tense. At one point, I joked, "What are you guys expecting out there?" Nobody laughed. Marcus just stared at me for a second and said, "Out here, you respect the weather." Then he walked away. By the middle of December, the darkness started getting to me. Up there in northern Alaska, the sun barely showed itself anymore. Some days felt like one long night that never ended. I stopped checking the calendar after a while. The station felt smaller every week. The same hallways, the same cold metal walls, the same humming generators. Even conversations became shorter. One night during my shift, I asked Marcus how long Station 4 had been operating. "Long enough," he answered without looking up. That was it. Later, I went outside for some air. The storm had finally passed, and for the first time in weeks, the sky was completely clear. Thousands of stars covered the darkness above me. And standing there alone in the snow, I suddenly realized something. Out there, hundreds of miles from the nearest town, nobody would hear you if you screamed. 3 nights after the storm, I was on generator duty around 2 a.m. The station was quiet, too quiet. I was halfway through checking fuel pressure when I heard something outside. A sound, not loud, just slow footsteps crunching through snow. I froze. Marcus had gone to sleep an hour earlier. Lewis was downstairs. Hannah was in the medical room, which meant nobody should have been outside. At first I thought maybe it was an animal, but then the footsteps stopped directly near the outer wall, right beside me. I waited. The wind outside howled softly against the metal siding. Then came 3 slow knocks. Thunk, 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 not on the main door, on the wall, like something was standing outside, trying to get in. I grabbed the flashlight near the toolbox and slowly moved toward the window. Outside was nothing except darkness and blowing snow, but the knocking came again, closer this time. Thunk, thunk, my chest tightened. I rushed into the hallway and woke Marcus. The second I told him what I heard, the color drained from his face. "Did you look outside?" he asked. "Only for a second." Marcus immediately locked the hallway door leading outside. Then he looked straight at me and said something I still remember perfectly. "Whatever you hear tonight, do not open that door." Before I could ask anything else, the station lights flickered once, then twice, and somewhere outside in the storm, something started walking around the building, slowly, like it was searching for a way inside. None of us slept that night. The footsteps kept circling the station for hours, sometimes near the windows, sometimes on the roof. Around 4 a.m., the noise suddenly stopped. Complete silence. Marcus carefully moved toward the security monitor near the radio desk. The outside cameras were covered in snow except for one facing the northern fence. And that's when I saw it. A tall figure standing motionless in the darkness. Too tall. Its body looked thin, unnatural, almost skeletal. At first I thought it was a person wearing heavy winter gear. Then it moved, slowly, its head tilted sideways in a way no human neck should. The camera flickered for half a second, and when the image cleared again, the figure was standing closer to the fence. Much closer. Marcus immediately turned the monitor off. Nobody said a word after that, but deep down, all of us knew the same thing. Something had found Station 4. By morning, the storm had weakened. Marcus ordered all of us to stay inside, but Lewis insisted on checking the outer generators before they froze over completely. He took a rifle with him. That alone terrified me. I watched from the window as he walked across the snow toward the fence line. The strange thing was, there were no tracks. Not ours, not animal tracks, nothing. After everything we heard during the night, the snow outside looked untouched, like nothing had ever been there. Lewis suddenly stopped walking. Even from inside, I could tell something was wrong. He was staring at the northern fence, completely frozen. Then slowly, he raised the rifle. I couldn't see what he was aiming at, but a second later, Lewis turned around and started running back toward the station, fast. The moment he got inside, he slammed the door shut and locked it. Marcus grabbed him immediately. "What did you see?" Lewis looked pale. His hands were shaking so badly he almost dropped the rifle. Then he whispered. It was standing behind the fence, smiling at me. That night, nobody wanted to talk about what Lewis saw. Marcus kept the curtains closed and ordered us to stay away from the windows after dark. Around midnight, I was sitting near the radio desk when static suddenly burst through the speakers. At first, it sounded normal. Then I heard a voice, weak, broken. "Hello?" I grabbed the mic immediately. "This is Station 4. Who's there?" For a few seconds, only static answered back. Then the voice returned, and my blood went cold, because it sounded exactly like Lewis. Same voice, same tone. But Lewis was asleep in the next room. The radio crackled again. "Please let me inside," I slowly turned toward the hallway. Lewis was still there, sleeping, but the voice on the radio kept talking. "It's cold out here." Then came loud static, and after that, a low sound that almost resembled laughter. After the radio went silent, nobody moved for almost a minute. Marcus finally unplugged the entire radio system. "No more transmissions tonight," he said. But I could see fear in his eyes now, real fear. Around 3 a.m. the power suddenly went out. The station dropped into complete darkness. For a few seconds, the only sound was the wind outside. Then came something worse, a soft tapping noise from the dining room window. Tap, tap, tap. Hannah whispered, "Don't look." But I already did. At first I saw only my own reflection in the dark glass. Then another face slowly appeared behind it, tall, pale, smiling. Its eyes looked completely black, and the worst part? It was mimicking my expression perfectly. When I stepped back, it stepped back too, still smiling, still watching me through the glass. The backup generators finally kicked on. Dim emergency lights flooded the station in red. The thing outside the window was gone, but before anyone could relax, we heard a door slam somewhere downstairs. Lewis immediately grabbed the rifle. Marcus looked at all of us and whispered, "Stay together." We moved slowly toward the basement hallway. The deeper we went, the colder the air became. Then we saw it. The storage room door was open, and muddy snow footprints led inside. Marcus raised his flashlight with shaking hands. The beam landed on the far corner of the room, and my stomach dropped. Something was crouching there in the darkness, too thin, too tall. Its bones looked stretched beneath pale skin. For one horrible second, it stared directly at us, smiling. Then the lights flickered, and it moved. Fast, faster than anything human should move. Lewis fired the rifle instantly. The gunshot echoed through the station, but when the lights stabilized again, the corner was empty. Only the footprints remained, leading deeper into the basement. We followed the footprints deeper underground. The basement tunnels were narrow and freezing cold. Pipes rattled above us while red emergency lights blinked through the darkness. Then we heard it again, that laughter, quiet, broken, almost human. Lewis aimed the rifle toward the shadows. Suddenly, Hannah screamed. The creature was standing at the end of the hallway, tall enough to almost touch the ceiling. Its black eyes locked onto her, and its smile slowly widened. Then the lights went out again, and something started running toward us in the dark.